Hi, good morning. It's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine. Thanks so much for tuning in this morning. I'm here on Monday, live at 10 a.m. Eastern. I normally do my lives on Sundays, but yesterday was actually Christmas Day, so of course I wasn't here live. I was traveling to my in-laws' house to celebrate the holiday with them. Got home at like a little after 11 o'clock last night and got my paper pumpkin alternative cards all ready for you this morning. So I have 3 projects. I'm using the December 2022 paper pumpkin kit. It's called Good Things Come in Small Packages. I have 2 alternative cards for you this morning, and I have 1 box. Using the box like the kit. It's pretty similar to the original design. So here's going to be card number 1. I did a baby card with the wrapper in the kit and the stamps. So I did add some cardstock, some punches, and some basic tools to my cards and some ink from my stash. Here's going to be card number 2. You probably can't tell, but the cupcake and the cherry have some Wink Castella on them, so I'll try to get some close-ups on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com. And then here's the box. It's a little love box. And I used the heart punch pack for this and some cardstock in my stash. So I have some tips. I'm actually coming to you from my craft closet. Quick story, I've lived in my house for 15 years. In this past week, I finally decided to tear apart my office because I've worked at home for almost 3 years and my space has just not been functional. I had like a desk inside this closet. So I said, that's it, I'm going to tear apart the whole thing. So sorry my space looks a little scattered. It's a work in progress right at the moment. So I'm hoping that this live won't be too awful when I point my camera down at my table, because this is the first time I'm doing a live here in my new setup. So bear with me, and I'm going to make 3 alternative projects with the December 2022 paper pumpkin kit. Good things come in small packages. So I'm going to point the camera down at my station and try to find myself in my feed really quick. So bear with me. And actually before I do that, I probably should show you the box. Mine's a little damaged from my postal service. They jam it in my mailbox. But here's the cute box with the confetti, kind of like a birthday theme. Here's on the side, it tells you the month. See how it's all smushed? And I'm not going to go over all the pieces, but I believe it's 16 boxes, and this was the original design. How you can make them. One thing I love that it's all occasion. So you could totally make these for, you know, birthday, graduation, and that sort of thing. I am actually going to keep a whole bunch of them for Easter because I think they're going to be great with the Easter Bunny bundle, which is like a sneak peek of something that's coming in January. And then here's like the little stamp set, so it's got great little sentiments for you. You get, I believe it's a garden green ink pad. I did not use that color on any of my projects. I'm using Tahitian Tide and Basic Gray. And then this is just a little look at what's coming in January. It's going to be the Key to My Heart kit, and that kit you need to subscribe by January 10th, 2023. To get that kit. So I'm going to point my camera down at my station and get myself situated here so I can follow along, and we'll go ahead and get started. So bear with me while I point my camera down. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is going to be okay. Let me just find myself in my feed to make sure I'm on my table. Like I said, I'm sorry that this is going to kind of be a trial, that this is the first one I'm doing with my new setup here. And I was running a few minutes late. I wanted to be live at 10, and I ended up coming on at about 10:05. So, okay, so this isn't the greatest angle at all. So let me, oh, shoot. Okay, so like I said, you're going to have to bear with me while I kind of get my angle here a lot better. So sorry. Hopefully next week I'll be a lot better when I do this. And of course I just lost some of my punches that I wanted to show you. So, okay, I think I'm just going to roll with it the way it is. That looks pretty good. So here's the box, and this is just like a little matchbox how the kit is based. And then I have the 2 cards, so a birthday card and a baby card. Okay, so the baby card goes this way. So we're actually going to start with the baby card. So let's start there. It's definitely not hard. These are all pretty simple cards. And I think I just lost all my pieces, so bear with me for 1 minute while I grab them all. I'm going to leave the heart punches on the floor and just skip that part of the demo for today. Whew. Okay, so for the baby card, I have a piece of basic white thick. So I added that from my stash, just a regular standard card size, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half at 4 1/4. Okay, and then we're going to add in some of the pieces from the kit. And I have to bring over my pierce mat for my stamping, so let me get that from my pile here and bring that into the picture. And we're just going to stamp on pieces from the kit. There is a little tiny tag, and then there is a skinny, what I call a skinny label. Okay, so I am going to be using basic gray ink. I'm just using my full-size Stampin' Up! Pad. Okay, so let me open that up. And we're going to do the Oh Baby on the little tag. And then we're going to do the sentiment. It says, for your special delivery. Actually, I have a bunch of coworkers that have just had babies, so maybe this card will go to one of them. And I'm sorry, I'm at an awful angle, so sorry if I keep having to move the pieces. I'm at a terrible angle with my iPad, so that actually stamped pretty good considering my angle's really terrible. So let me get this stuff out of the way. The yellow in the kit, it said that it coordinated with was crushed curry. And if you watch my videos, like, I'm not a huge fan. The star, this is a piece from the kit. The star is crushed curry. But honestly, what I did with this one is I cut apart the wrapper that goes around the box, and I cut just 4 pieces out. And one of the things I absolutely love about this kit is that there's printing on both sides. So if you didn't have to make baby cards with the stars and the moons here, you could flip them over, and they're like a pretty, almost like a muted version of garden green. So kind of like a pretty garden green. This lighting really doesn't do it justice, I don't think. So you could totally mix this up. And then you get these printed cards. So what I'm going to do is go make my kind of focal point around the printed card. So I'm going to actually go this way. And let's put our Oh Baby on first. I'm just going to use some liquid glue for this. So we're just going to put the Oh Baby. Then we're going to do the sentiment. We're starting off super, super simple. Just stamps, ink, and paper, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of ribbon. So I'll put this like down towards the bottom, hanging off a little bit. I don't want to cover up all my baby here. The star you can put on with dimensionals, glue dot. I'm just going to use the liquid glue since I have it right here, and I can kind of wiggle it around where I want it. And then in this kit, there is a giant roll of basic gray twine, baker's twine. So I used the baker's twine on 2 of the projects. Love the basic gray twine. So this one I just made into a bow with my bow maker. And let me know if you, I talk about my bow maker. It's just like 3 pieces of wood, and it helps you make bows really nice with your ribbon and your twine. So we're just going to take a mini glue dot, take this off the roll. I'm putting my knot right to the glue dot and trying not to touch it with my fingers that have oils on them. And then the glue dot's going to go right in that center kind of hole, so to speak, of the tag. You have 2 options at this point. you can wrap your ends around this rectangle focal point. And that was what I was originally going to do. And then I decided to just cut it off and make it into like just a bow with the tails going down. So let's get our pieces on our card base. So again, I just have a thick basic white. I said whisper white there. So faux pas. It used to be called whisper white. So like I said, this was the wrapper, and I just cut these 4 strips off. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber under me, I send you a PDF tutorial. Today, this month, it's probably going to be tomorrow, which is December 27th, because I have to travel again this week for a family commitment. So I just have 4 strips that I cut apart with the wrapper. Super, super simple. So this just goes to show you alternatives that you can do with the boxes if you don't do boxes. But like I said, I'm going to keep some of the boxes for Easter. Okay, so super simple. I just kind of offset them like so. And sorry, I'm just trying to get my bearings today, and I am just not feeling it. I think the last couple days have really done me in with all the travel. But, you know, holidays ended up working out really well this year. So, no complaints. And then we're just going to put this over the focal point of all the offset piece strips of ribbon. And my bow, I used a lot of the twine. So, you can probably cut yours a little bit shorter. Get my messy tails out of the way. So this is going to be project number 1, which I'm calling the Oh Baby card. So for my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, when you get the PDF tutorial, you'll have some nice close-up pictures. The second project uses Winka Stella, so you totally could do Winka Stella on the star. So let me just show you. The star is already printed. It was stars, cupcakes, graduation caps, and I think leaves in the kit, and I just didn't want to take the time to show you all the pieces today. So you can totally color over this to give it a little bit of a pop. The other thing, I think this would be really cute, adding some rhinestones or like iridescent pearls that don't really have a color to them, but they pick up like the yellow color in the project. So here's project number 1. Let's move on to the birthday card, which is going to be project number 2. So let me give you a quick look. Here is the birthday card with the blushing bride and Tahitian tide, which, man, that is a really pretty color combination. So it's kind of girly in a way, but I think it could technically be masculine too. So why can't you give guys pink cards, right? So let me get my pieces together. We're just going to stamp the happy birthday. A tip on this one is actually the happy and the birthday are separate stamps, but I'm just going to stamp them on the same block. I put them on the same block, okay? So I got my cupcake because I kind of want to find my placement. My cupcake can kind of hang off the side a little bit if I want it to. A way to step up this card as well is this is kind of like a white circle with some gray like stitching around the side that came in the kit. I don't know if you can really see that. It looks washed out for me. You could take a sponge dauber and put some Tahitian tide ink around the edge. The other thing you can do is you can do direct to paper with your ink pad, and I'm not very good at this technique, so I'd never like to demonstrate it live, but you can actually dip, you know, you end up dipping your circle around the edge in the ink pad. So I am definitely not going to do it this morning. I am not feeling very adventurous today whatsoever. So like I said, I think just the travel, yesterday was a long day. We were gone for 11 hours, I think. We left at 10 a.m. and got home at 13 hours. I can't do math, guys. So yesterday was a very long day. So I got my happy and my birthday on the same block. They come separately. So there's a tip for this one. And we're just going to ink that up with some Tahitian tide ink. and get my cupcake on there. I actually think I went opposite that I did on the original, but that's totally fine. And you can put this on again with like liquid glue, a glue dot, dimensional, but I'm going to do the same technique that I just did on the previous card. Whoops, it just went for a ride. And let me get my ink pad closed up so I don't have an oopsie there. Okay, so we're on the birthday card. So the same technique I just did with the Wink of Stella, I'm just going to come over and color right over the printed die cut, and a little bit on the cherry. So I really hope you all had a good holiday season. I'm actually looking forward to next week, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and like lying low and not having to travel. My husband, is a musician. Sometimes he has gigs, but he doesn't have a gig for New Year's Eve this year. So kind of just a quiet weekend at home. And while I'm talking about that, let me see if you can see the Wink of Stella a little bit. I'm sorry, it looks so washed out on my end today, so I apologize for that. I won't be live next Sunday, New Year's Day, January 1st, 2023, on Sunday at 10, so I'm just going to not have a live at all next week. Yeah, I'm not going to have a live at all next week because it's weird timing. The new catalog goes live on Thursday, which would be, let me try to figure this out. The first is Sunday, so 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. The new catalog goes live on January 5th, and I can't show you the inside of it. So I could show you some of my swaps. So I'll stay tuned. I might do a live on that Monday. Okay, so here's going to be my Tahitian tied birthday card. I just have my Tahitian tied base, which is a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock that's scored in half at 5 1/2. And then this is the wrapper from the kit. I cut it apart. Okay. And again, it's the perk for being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber under me to get the measurements. So I'll put the links below. You can prepay and pay for a 1, 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. And I know we just had holidays, but, it makes a great birthday gift, too, if you have birthdays coming up in the new year. Or you can just pay monthly, and it's $23.50 per month, and you get a whole kit. It's a subscription kit, so it comes monthly. You get the whole kit of supplies, and some months it's cards, some months it's boxes or 3D items. So this month in December 2022, it ended up being the boxes, which I'm going to show in project number 3. So I'm just getting my kind of sprinkled piece on there. And then you might notice that there's these score marks, and I'm actually going to cover them up with this sprinkle piece. So this is just cutouts, die cuts right from the kit. I've only added my Tahitian tied cardstock so far. Okay, and then I'm going to add another tiny piece of Tahitian tied cardstock, like a tiny sliver almost. And I'm going to put this across the middle, but before I do that, I'm actually going to just cut the ends, like just like the edge, just a snip to make like a design. And if it's easier for you to just flip it over and just cut right from the edge, like a little slant. And then I'm ready to just throw this on with a little bit of liquid glue. And then I'll be able to throw on the piece that we stamped on, the circle piece, which is a die cut from the kit. So I'm not happy with the angle of this. So there's going to be close-up cards on my blog at christinestamps.blogspot.com later today. Later this morning, hopefully. I have the whole entire day off. But then I'm taking 2 more days off this week, I think, unexpectedly. So this week is going to turn into a busy week. So it'll be good to have a long weekend next week to kind of get some R&R. Okay, so that is project number 2. Super, super sweet and simple. And I did add some of that Wink of Stella onto the cupcake and the cherry. Okay, so moving on to project number 3. I ended up doing a love box from the boxes in the kit. So this is pretty similar to how the original design was. I just added the heart punch pack to go with the With Love stamp from the kit. But I used the wrapper, I used the twine, and I used some of the die cuts from the kit. I just added 2 pieces of Blushing Bride and basic gray cardstock. So before I make this, I want to show you the tip that I do with my heart punch pack. I cut strips of cardstock and then I can punch them out. So this is what my Blushing Bride looks like. So I cut like strips of cardstock. You have to kind of measure your punch with a ruler. Some punches it might be like 2 1/4 inch strips. Some punches it might be like 2 1/2. So here's the basic gray probably will be hard to see on the mat, against the mat. So just a tip for trying to save on your cardstock, and it helps you with your punches. And this is a tip for any Stampin' Up! Punches that you have in your stash. So let's do our stamping. So I punched out my pieces, my hearts. Let me get all my pieces together here, and then I'll talk about the wrapper. So I have just the flat Blushing Bride. I used the colors that coordinated with the kit for the most part, but I really just focused on Blushing Bride and Tahitian Tide for these 3 projects. So I'm only using 2 ink pads. I just put my finger in the ink pad, so let me get that out of the way so I don't do that again. So this is the With Love stamp from the kit. I'm going to close up my ink pad since I just already had it. Oopsie. And let me get my basic gray. This is the scallop one now. And we're just going to adhere these together with a little bit of liquid glue. And then it's just really adhering. You might want to have tear and tape adhesive for this project for the wrapper. And in the kit, they did give you a nice roll of tear and tape adhesive. So with the wrapper, but let me actually just do the focal point here and get that out of the way. So this is a tag, a little die cut tag from the kit. And we're just going to add this over the top. Like I said, this is super simple. You could step it up by adding some more like rhinestones or more another heart layer with die cuts. We do have some heart die cuts that are still current. So one of the other things I love about this kit is that it was printed on both sides. So this is the box. And I will say they're pretty thin, so you might want to put like a cardstock lining inside of them. But one side is green, and then the other side that I'm going to use is pink. So we're just going to fold on all the score lines here. You can use your bone folder if you have one in your stash. Highly recommend that you have one if you don't already own one. So let's just get all these pieces folded on the score lines. And it's pretty simple. This is the bottom and this is the top. So we're just going to kind of put these tabs in. The box itself goes together with no adhesive because there's this little tabs on both sides. So you're going to stick your sides in. And then this flap is going to come over and just kind of go into that tab, and it's going to hold the box closed. This will hold a gift card, money, a piece of flat candy. My original has a piece of flat candy. Whoops, I didn't get that tab in. So sorry, I'm a little off camera doing this, but let me get my tabs in and then close up and into the little slit in the box. And then this just closes up kind of like a pizza box in a way, and slides in. So let me show you. Here's my one that's already made. So I just slide off the wrapper, and I put a piece of candy in there so you could see that it would fit. Now my wrapper doesn't want to slide. There we go. So I just have a piece of my favorite chocolate, one of my favorite chocolates. I should say one of them, not my favorite. I do have a local chocolate that's my favorite. Let me know what's your favorite chocolate if you're able to comment. Okay, so I'm going to close up with the wrapper, of course, I chose the polka dot side because I love polka dots. But look it, the other side has a printing on it. So if you don't care for polka dots, it has this pretty like soft succulent floral. I think it actually would be great for a birthday or something spring. The boxes are kind of too small to hold like seed packets, but you might find something like, I don't know, like I just got a Harry and David tower that had like some dried fruit in it. So you just fold on the score lines, and of course I'm going to use the polka dot side, so, and then you're just going to wrap it around your box. So let me bring over the box, and we're just going to do a wrap job here. And at this point you can use tear and tape adhesive to just get a nice, closure here. I'm just going to use liquid glue because it's right here and handy. And if you have something in the box, it makes it feel a little bit sturdy. So I definitely highly recommend you put your item in your box before you put the wrapper on, so it feels a little sturdier. But like I said, I'm going to save some of these for Easter because I think that the colors just spoke Easter to me. And you want to make sure your adhesive stays on your wrapper and not onto the box so they can remove it. And then you're just going to put your kind of focal point here on. You can use liquid glue, dimensionals, glue dots, whatever your favorite adhesive is. I'm really partial to all of those, but I'm just trying to make this video as short as possible, trying to keep it about 30 minutes today. And then I just took some of the basic gray baker's twine from the kit, and I just wrapped it around. So just pick a side, and we're just going to wrap and tie in a bow. Okay, so this is, again, super, super simple, and you could totally step it up. But if you had a bunch of these to make, they would go together pretty quickly, like while you're sitting there watching TV, or I think I got glue on my fingers, so things just don't want to go around. So you can do your bow, hold your knot in the middle, pull your ends, and then make it look pretty and cut your tails. And there you have it. That was project number 3. So let me do a quick recap. Project number 3 was my love box. Project number 2 was my happy birthday card with the Tahitian Tide and Blushing Bride. And then project number 1 was my Oh Baby card. So that is pretty much my video for today. Just as a reminder, you need to subscribe by January 10th, 2023 to get the January paper pumpkin kit. So they usually ship around the 11th of the month, and I'm in Massachusetts on the East Coast, and I have been getting mine close to the middle of the month. The month of December was obviously a train wreck for shipping. There was a lot of weather issues, so that could happen in January and February too. So, I mean, my packages were definitely delayed in the month of December, but typically I usually get my kit prior to, like usually between the 16th and the 18th. I think it was actually at my post office on the 16th this year, but I probably didn't get it till around the 21st. Just because there was probably so many packages at the post office around that time, right? So, I just wanted to remind you too, if you do subscribe under me, Christine Crutcher at Create with Christine, I do send my subscribers every month a free PDF tutorial for being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. And that is either if you prepay, or if you pay for the monthly kit. And I guess I'm going to bring the camera back at my face to sign off. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hey Elaine, thanks so much for tuning in. Somehow I couldn't see the comments today. Sorry, this was kind of not my typical live. If this is the first live you've watched for me, if you're following me on Facebook or YouTube, thanks for subscribing and thanks for following me. I hope I'll be better in 2023, but this is a new setup for me. In my craft closet here, so hopefully I will get my bearings under me as we move forward. But hi Janine, thanks so much for tuning in. Elaine, funny story if you're still here. I passed you on Parker Road in Dracut the other day coming from Farmer Dave's. I had to pick up my chocolate cream pie for yesterday. And, my husband was driving, so I was the passenger. I'm like, hey, that's Elaine's car. So it was kind of funny to see you in passing. So hope you had a Merry Christmas, everybody. And Happy New Year. And I won't see you live again until 2023. But this week I do hope to be able to keep my Facebook posts, and I'll have a Casing Tuesday project featuring this paper pumpkin December 2022 kit. So Casing Tuesday is casing, which is copy and share everything. So we take a card from one of the current Stampin' Up! Catalogs, and we all use that sketch of that card, and we recreate cards with whatever's in our stash. So it's really great to follow. We have about 4,000 people in our Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, you can look for us or send me a message and I can send you the link to the group. So I'll have a card there tomorrow for Casing Tuesday, and then I hope to be able to keep my Facebook posts regular this week. I have to travel on Wednesday and Thursday for a family death in my family. So have a great week. Happy New Year, and I will see you soon.